because of the way that things are changing in measurement, some say there's been a loss of kind of granularity in the data. And for experimenters that do choose to migrate to GA4, how can we ensure that there's going to be accurate data tracking, data collection, data reporting, and data analysis? And we need all these things to maintain uninterrupted testing success. So, Jeroen, I know this is a big question with a lot to unpack, but do you have any, overall thoughts or comments?
Well, the first thing I would like to mention is, a lot of people have been talking about GA4 data accuracy, and I mean, this has been a subject that was already there with universal analytics, with big pieces of data being sampled as a way of lowering server cost for Google. Of course, there's a lot of free people, or a lot of users using the free solution, and GA4 has this as well. So what happens is that with when there's a lot of data, I'll skip the technical side, but it will put all that data, and it will put some kind of estimation algorithm on it, and data accuracy because of it. So this can happen in GA4 when the sample sizes are very big. If you want to negate that, one way I know of doing it is connecting your GA4 to BigQuery. So this is actually pretty easy to do. You just need a BigQuery account in Google Cloud, and you can connect it without any code at all. And you can stream your raw data to BigQuery. So BigQuery is a data warehouse, and you can analyze it there. And you might need to dust up your SQL skills a little bit in order to get all that raw event-based data, as you say, out of BigQuery. But this way you can ensure that there's no estimation behind it. So you're working with raw data. And it's a little bit harder, of course, than just setting up the report in Google Analytics 4. But this way you make sure that the results you're getting from, let's say, your experiments are unaltered because of wrong data. So I think this is really the main thing I always like to talk about when talking about GA4, is that there's a big push and drive from Google to go to BigQuery. Obviously, it's also a business model for them. And with BigQuery, I mean, once it's in BigQuery, there's so many things you can do with your data. Possibilities are endless, to be honest.
Okay, that's great. So BigQuery is really becoming a big deal. It's becoming a big need as well. And I think it's interesting, you just briefly touched on it, but you said it's a business model for Google. I think that's an important point to make, that there seems to be a push towards paid, and BigQuery requires tokens. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, how it works with BigQuery, for the amount of data that you use, you will have to pay a specific amount. And when you just start with BigQuery, you don't have a lot of data. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but there's a free monthly amount of data. But when you go over that, you might be paying a lot, especially if you're a big company. You're going to hit specific prices, and you're not sure. Because before you can get your data in BigQuery, you need to connect your credit card. So you already need to have everything set up in order to make sure you can pay. So one thing to keep in mind is when you're setting up BigQuery for the first time, you're going to have to set up a payment method, and you're going to have to keep track of how much data you're using, because that's their business model. That's how Google makes money with BigQuery, is the amount of data that you use. So it's important that you keep good track of how that goes when you're setting up your account at first. And I think the first time you're setting up your account, you also get some extra free data. And you don't have to automatically or immediately connect it to a live server with all your data. So you can just test it out. But it's definitely something to keep in mind, because it can go crazy if you have a lot of traffic. So it's definitely something to worry about. Yeah.
Okay, so an important point moving forward, experimentation is going more towards a paid model. And in order to keep experimenting, you're going to need to pay for it. It's becoming more of an investment. So that changes the landscape a little bit. There's no longer access to free tools. pretty much everything is going towards paid. But it's hopefully an investment that will pay off for you by running really good A/B tests and getting really good results for yourself or clients and getting that ROI back